And sort of a continuation of what I said yesterday about body types. I mean, there's different body types, and some people have larger joints, shorter bones. Some have more long bones, but narrow joints. Some people's proportions are different. Some people naturally hold on to more body fat compared to others. And each comes with its advantages and its disadvantages, and it all depends. And this is often why you'll find certain body types really excel at different types of sports, right? So a quick example, we look at basketball, for example. Everyone thinks it's actually height that gives you the most advantage, but it's actually wingspan. The wider your wingspan is relative to your height, the more advantage you have in basketball. And what they found is that the people in the upper echelon, the people who tend to make the NBA a little bit more, is not necessarily the tall people. It's the ones with relatively larger wingspans. And this is similar to swimming. Feet size is a big one. Arms, hands, big one, because it just makes them more aerodynamic and able to swim better. And this is the same thing for runners. It's the same thing for sprinters. There's certain body characteristics that make you better at different sports. So theoretically, you want to get better at whatever sport that you're more functional for. And again, you have to play to what you like as well. So sometimes you can't just play any sport and really be really good at it. Maybe your body lends itself to one over the other. For example, if someone's a little bit heavier, maybe something like a cutting sport like tennis, for example, might be hard on their knees, so they won't really enjoy tennis as much. And if they wanted to play tennis more, they would have to bring their body fat down a little bit more. This goes for a lot of sort of the power sports, gymnastics, and I mean, there's some argument about coaches talking about people's bodies, and I'm behind this idea. I don't think people should tell you how your body should look and all that. Though there is certain things that are pretty important if you want to excel at different sports, right? So if you want to do well in martial arts, for example, you want to have as much muscle and as little body fat as possible, because that puts you at the stronger end of your weight classification. So if you were to gain weight, you'd actually put yourself into a higher weight category with bigger people usually, and they tend to be stronger. So again, there's advantages and disadvantages looking at your body fat and all that stuff. And where am I going with this? I think it's important, again, to play your hand to its best ability. You want to do as best you can with your body type, and you can make some changes, and you can find sports that you enjoy. Which is probably different than, as a side note, in China, they actually had programs where they would find people for sports based on their body type, and it was somewhat successful, was not as successful as some of the other countries where people just naturally gravitated towards those sports. And this is why you find at younger ages, there's a wider variety of body types and body sizes and shapes and all that. But as you get in the upper echelons of those sports, it tends to select specifically for certain body types and characteristics, right? And sometimes that has to do with the way the sport's evolving, right? So for example, if you look at hockey, there's a lot more smaller people now. Not smaller, I should say more nimble, more skillful, whereas before you were selected for size a lot oftentimes, right? Anyways, side note, go back to what I said earlier. I want you to play to your strength. Pick what you like to do and try to play your best hand where it comes to this. So if there's a sport that you would like to try, something you want to do, and I can help you, I would love to help you. We'll find the characteristics that work really well for that sport or that activity, and let's do it to our best ability. But more than anything, just be true to yourself. Understand this is the hand you're dealt. No sense of being upset about it. We all wish that, I guess we're 6 foot, 5% body fat in athletics, but I don't know. I mean, that would be pretty boring if everybody was the same, right? So play to your strengths, accept what you are, and we'll get there.